Today we are making a vintage coffee company logo using Kittl. And we're going to use the same name that we developed in a previous video, which you can see right here, where we made a badge logo with a monogram in the middle. So the name we're going to be using is the Blind Crow Coffee Company, and we're going to do it in a style that pays homage to old etched lines and beautiful typography. Now, if you haven't tried Kittl yet, I invite you to give it a try and use the link down in the description to sign up immediately. You don't need any personal information or credit card information, nothing like that. All you need is an email address and you can start making amazing designs like the one that we're about to make. So go ahead and go get logged in, and then let's get to the tutorial. Alright, first let's look at a mood board that we put together of some really cool old vintage ephemera. And so we can take a lot of cues from these old style designs, like this type of lettering here, and then we have this sort of rise effect here that we might take and it'll influence our design. And then we have this kind of like cloudy hatches in the background. So I think that might be really nice for the layout that we're going to use. And then we have this kind of element here on the right with some more shadow hatching. You can see that was kind of a big deal back then. And then we have this really nice panel coming out in the bottom that frames this brewing code text. So we might take some of that, and then down here in the bottom you can see again this etched cloudy hatch style in the back, which I think at this point we're definitely going to use. And then yeah, maybe something from here, maybe this like script, or maybe these vintage florals, will take something like that and that'll influence our design. Alright, so we have a new project here, and the first thing we're going to do is rename it so that we can make sure we find it easily and quickly. So we'll just rename this one to Blind Crow Coffee. Then we're going to make our artboard size just a little bit bigger to fit this entire logo, and then we are going to change the background color to be a little bit more of an off-white, not so harsh white, just more of an off-white like this right here. And then we can start with our layout, our text layout. So we'll add some text here, and then we will type in Blind Crow, and we'll expand that to make sure that it is the right size, and then we'll size that up. And actually what we're going to do is make the B separate. So we're going to delete the B from this, and then we will duplicate this text, and I will show you why we're going to do that here in a little bit. But yeah, we're going to duplicate this B and then put it right here next to it. Then we'll go ahead and duplicate this text again, and then we're going to do the for the Blind Crow Coffee. Then we're going to pick a little bit of a different font here, so let's go with Royal Signage. Then we'll size this down a lot less, because this will go at the top of our layout here. Then we'll just duplicate this text again, and we're going to type coffee shop. Make this a little bit smaller as well. This is going to go in the bottom right of our layout. Now let's look at our references real quick, and let's try to duplicate this rise effect here and also kind of put it in this framed rise effect. So if we go over to elements and we go to our rise elements, which is already a section that we have, we can pick one that we think best works for this layout. And I really like this one right here. So we can drag that over and size it up. And don't be upset about how many colors there are. We can change them. I know there's a lot in this one panel, but we're going to work with simple colors for now. We're just going to make everything white or black so that it's easy to see. So we can just come over here to the object colors, and we can turn off or turn to white what we don't want or what we do want to show. So we're just going to make it black or white so that it's a little bit more simple, kind of like the examples in our ephemera sheet. The design is all one color. So let's use this rise transformation and make sure everything is lined up. You can do that with these little nodes here, these little points, these little anchor points. You can get it perfectly in the panel. Then let's use another panel for the bottom right where coffee shop is, and we're going to use one of these more simple panels. Yeah, we'll just drag this over, pull it up like this, and we're going to send this to the back. Again, don't worry about the colors. We will make them simplistic here. We're going to turn it to black and white so that the frame is black, just like the top frame there. Okay, and let's reduce coffee shop, and we use this variable setting here to expand it. So we can actually increase the width here without destroying anything, which is a really nice feature for this font. And now what we want to do is check our ephemera, check our mood board again for this kind of like this kind of sheet, this kind of certificate looking scroll work here, and we want to see if we can find something like that. here in Kittl, and we'll go back to badge and see if we can find one of those scroll badges. And look, that's exactly what we're looking for. So let's pull that over and kind of size that here below Blind Crow and to the left of Coffee Shop. Yeah, that looks like a good location right here. And we'll change this again. We'll change the colors to be more simplistic, just white and black, which is what we're working with right now. And now we need something to the right here. So if we go back, we can go to banners and find a banner that would nicely go to the right of this kind of scroll badge here, because we want our shape to be consistent. We want the whole layout to be based on a geometric shape, and so there's some space here that we need to fill. So this looks like it's really nice. We'll send that to the back so that's kind of coming out to the right. And then we need to change our colors here to be black and white. And what we're going to do is a little bit of a trick here. So we want to duplicate this. You can hold Alt or Option key and drag. And then we're going to make this entire badge black. And the reason is we're going to take the other one, the one that's behind it, and we're going to bring that to the front so that it looks like it has some shadow. So we've done a little bit of a cheat here to make it look like it's darker. It's got this shadow behind it. So that's a nice little neat trick for you there. And then let's frame the up here at the top. So if we go down, we can find these simple elements down here, and we have a bunch of the kind of arc looking effects here so that we can frame it. And again, we're just filling that space so that the shape is consistent. We can create this entire shape of our logo. And so let's change the colors on these to be black and white, how we'd like them. And then we need to decrease the a little bit to fit a little bit nicer. Then let's go back to our mood board here, and let's see if we can use an element, an illustration like you see there. Let's search for coffee bean, and this one looks quite nice. It's already etched in that same kind of style that we like. So let's put that here, size it up a little bit. It's already looking really nice. And then we will change the color of this, of course, to be black so that it matches our layout here. And we'll change that to white, the fill to white. Now we need to add some text here in the top to fill these banners, to fill these spaces where we don't have any text. So we'll just duplicate our text, bring it up, and then we will change it to be a little bit smaller. And then we need to change it to say Finest Gourmet Blends. So we will make it a little bit bigger, and then we can increase the spacing here just a bit, and then we can just use the circle transformation, and then we will use these little nodes at the bottom and the top to expand it exactly how we want it to fit this arc frame. Now we need to do the same thing in the bottom, so we'll add some text. We'll type premium, and then we're going to use the rise transformation once again so that we can follow the path of this banner here. We can use these little nodes, these little anchor points, of course, to get it exactly how we want it. Then we'll duplicate that text, do the same thing over here, make sure that it fits the banner correctly, and then what we'll do is we will edit this text to say quality, because of course we're only serving the premium quality coffee here. Now we need a monogram here in the middle of our scroll badge. So we can type BC, put it there in the middle, and then we can go over to the text setting panels, go to fonts. We can just go to other, and you can see that there's a monogram font already included here, and so that's already looking pretty good. We just need to size it up. We'll place it here in the middle. And we'll come back to this later, but that's how we want it for now. Hey, real quick, if you're getting value from this logo tutorial, do me a favor and click or tap on that like button and hit the red subscribe button. And don't forget to comment below with any questions you have about this tutorial or anything else involving Kittl. All right, let's get back to it. So now we can start adding some text effects to our text. So we're going to go over here to this detailed block shadow, and we're going to change some of the colors. We'll change our stroke to white, and of course we'll change our shadow to black. We can change the angle a little bit to make sense with this layout. So we'll go down to the bottom right, type of shadow here. Then we can go to decoration, and let's choose these oblique lines here, change the color, and then we can change them to be super small so that looks more like the references that we were looking at, so more like the hatched style that we want. And this is why the B was separate, so that we can size it up and move it around so that it fits this circle frame a lot better. So now we can do similar styles over here on the rest of the text, we're going to do a regular block shadow, change the color, of course, but we're going to do something a little bit different here. So let's go back over to the main text setting. We'll change the text to white. We'll change the drop shadow to black. And then what we want to do is decrease this a little bit. It looks like it's a little much. We'll decrease the size of that shadow there. We're going to give this a stroke. So we're going to change the stroke to black so that it makes sense. And then what we're going to do is go back and we'll turn on those same oblique lines and give it the same kind of hatched style that we did with the bee. Change the color, of course, and then change the distance so that they're a lot closer together. Now, this looks a little bit dark at the moment, but we're going to do a little bit of a trick here. So what we're going to do is duplicate this text. And then what we're going to do is actually make all of this black. So we're going to take off the decoration. We're going to go back. We're going to change this white to black so that all of it is black. And then what we're going to do is send that to the back. So we can bring our other text forward and leave the black text in the back, but then when we go to the shadow of our front text, we'll make it white so that it looks like there's this cut. Now you could do this with the line shadow. However, it's not really going to cut into the banner like you see it doing. That bottom part of the C is nicely cutting into the banner. So this is a little bit of a neat trick where you can have this double shadow effect. So we're going to do the same thing with coffee here. We just added some line shadow. Then we're going to go to our monogram here and we're going to decorate this just a little bit. We're going to give it some horizontal lines for this one actually, make them small, and then we're going to work with this and tweak it just a little bit. So we're going to change the color to black. Then we're going to go back to our text color and we're going to give it a stroke, and then we'll change our stroke color to black, so that it's looking more like the etched style in our references. Then we'll add a drop shadow, decrease that, and change the shadow color so that it fits nicely with the rest of the style for this logo. Go back to our references and we can see these little leaves and things, these little branches and stuff poking out of the side. So let's do that. We're going to go search for some branches, and what we're going to do is just place them here along our layout. I'm not going to go through every single one, so I'm speeding up this part, but you can see we're finding different places to fill the space nicely where it makes sense in this layout. You don't have to go crazy with it. It's just for added detail. Now let's go back to our references, and if we look at another one, we can see that there are these small little elements, these little line elements, just for decoration purposes. So we're going to find some stuff like that just to fill in a couple of more spaces that we didn't do with the branches. So let's search for some things like that, maybe here to the left of the B and to the left of the scroll badge here, just to fill in and complete this space. So we'll go to Elements, we'll go back over to our ornaments, and then we're going to find some Victorian thin line elements that might fit nicely. So we'll turn this around and then we can put it here to the right of the badge, and that's looking pretty good. Make it a black color so that it makes sense to the rest of our layout here. And then maybe we can do a smaller one here to the left of the B just to give it some more fill here. Then we'll change this color to black as well to make it look like it's part of the frame. Now let's go back to our references and we can check out this little script that they have here, this kind of the subtext script that's in several of these layouts. So let's do something similar like that, and let's find a nice script that we can use for our established in text. So let's add some text, and we're going to put it here in the bottom right. You can hit T for the quick add text command, and then what we're going to do is we're going to type established along with the date that we want this to be established in. So we'll go with 1984. And then let's go to our font settings and let's go over to script and find a nice one. A lot of these will work. I love this one a lot. Maybe this one would work as well, but maybe something a little bit different like this one. I love the E on this one, and I think that's the one that we're looking for that really fits the rest of this style and the rest of this space. So maybe we can change it just a little bit. It would be nice maybe if it was a little bit longer. So I think let's make it say established in 1984. So let's double click in and we'll do established in like this. All right, let's go back to our references, and we can see in almost all of these we have this hatched, cloudy, shade in the back, this etched shadow, this etched cloud that's in the back of this. And we already have something like this. So let's go over to Elements. And if we go to Abstract, you can see there's this section that says Etched Clouds. And there are already these little tiny etches, these little tiny hatches and dots, where if we pull these in, then we can start playing with our layout and make it make sense and kind of make it look like our old references like this. So let's just move this around, and I'm just going to add quite a few of these to make the space behind this logo dark. And then what we can do is we can grab all of these illustrations and we're going to group them. So over in your layers panel, we can hold shift and select all of these, and we can group with Command G. And then it's easy to turn them off like that, or to turn them back on, since now they're all grouped together, which is a really nice feature. Now maybe the is a little bit too dark, so if we go over here and we give it some block shadow, I think if we make this block shadow white, it will stand out from the etch a little bit better, just so that it's more legible, it's easier to read like this. So that's really nice. Alright, so maybe this area right here we can duplicate so that it's a darker. I want the beans to stand out like that, so all I did was just duplicate that shadow like that. Now we can change our color with the project colors, which is really nice. Everything's already black, so we just have to select the black one, and then we can go through all of these different colors and get it exactly how we want. So I think something like this blue would look really nice. And then we can add texture. So if we go over here to the texture panel, maybe some paper texture would make this stand out, make it look old like our references do. And we'll find this kind of crumpled up paper right here. We'll add it. It's a little hard to see right now, but that's okay because we need to change our background so that it's a little easier to see. The darker the background color is, but not too terribly dark, the easier it is to see this intertwined texture here. And then maybe we want to change our size up just a little bit, and then we can continue to tweak the color as best we want here. And then all we have left to do is download our design. You can change between inches and millimeters and pixels to use a variety of different settings, but I think what I'm going to do is just leave it with image for right now, and then we'll download our JPEG and we are ready to go. So what did you think of this vintage coffee company logo? I would love to know, so comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to check out some of the other tutorials I have here on the channel, like making vintage text effects or learning how to curve text in different ways. And also comment your ideas for other tutorials in the comments as well. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I would love to make more videos to serve you better. Before you go, if you haven't already, do me a favor and hit that red subscribe button. It just takes a second and it means a lot to us. It's just a way for you to be notified when more videos like this are uploaded to the channel that you definitely don't want to miss. So now it's time for you to go design some amazing logos. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, create magic.